Hi friends, it's Sarah from rufflesandrainboots.com, and today I'm sharing two adorable carrot gnomes. If you'd like to make him, just boop, stick around. Y'all, I crack myself up with this stuff. As always, please give this video a like so that I know you're here crafting. Now, these cuties were actually requested. Somebody loves the tuck gnome pattern, and her name is Lorraine. She asked for a couple different ideas for some carrot gnomes. So I first made this guy using the same exact pattern. He looks very different. He's got the little greenery at the top, which I know it's backwards, and I'll tell you how I made him. But to make this guy, we're going to start with the tucked gnome pattern. You can get that at the link below. It took me 40 minutes to make two of them. I'm using fill, weight, the pattern, which I've already cut from taupe and orange. I'm going to be using a measuring cup and funnel, and I'm also going to be using faux fur, raffia, and scissors, detail tip glue gun, and an X-Acto knife. Whew! That was a lot to say at one time. So to get started, we're going to slow it down a little bit here and just assemble per the pattern instructions. And this is a 100% hot glue pattern, and the absolute only trick to this entire pattern is that you add enough weight. So I'm going to be sharing and showing you that. For the hat, this is cut in two pieces. This is a great hat for those of you who are new, or maybe you don't have enough fabric to do on the fold cut. So this is a great style. It just is two seams on the side. If you use a detail tip glue gun, this goes way, way better for you than when I originally created this pattern. I was using a full-size glue gun. I will show you my seams. They look magical. They look like I sewed them. None of that has to do with skill. It is all because I have a detail tip glue gun. So you can see here, I'm just using it. I'm not pressing down on this joint. I'm just lightly pressing the fleece, not the glue, if that makes sense. So I'm just basically joining those two together. We don't want the glue to like squish out flat. We just want it to join together. All right, so the only tricky part of this pattern is actually the bottom of the body. So all you're going to do, there's like a little tab. It's designed this way. Line up the long edge first. I'll tell you that easy as pie. Line up that, let that set, and then go to the two sides. All you're going to do is put glue, and it makes like a little table, a little shelf. And so you're going to do that on both sides. Before you turn it right side out, go ahead and pull. You want to make sure that none of your seams, both at the bottom or on the side, are going to come off or come open. And once you've done that, we're just going to go back to the hat because this has been sitting. Go ahead, check your seams here. I like to pull them apart. When I'm turning it right side out, I'll check it after I poke out the tip because I probably shouldn't use scissors. Whatever. They're not sharp at the end. All right, so I'm just checking my seams. I'm going to lay this flat, pull apart everything again. You can see how beautiful the seams look. I'm telling you, the glue gun matters. For those of you who are asking, I am using a Sure Bonder detail tip glue gun. It is corded. It is one temperature, high, and it is available on Amazon. I'll put the link down below. You're going to turn the right side or turn the body right side out as well. Again, you're pulling, checking those flat parts, checking the joins. I have a little extra hot glue there where I accidentally stuck my glue into the hole too far. But you can also just hit that with a heat gun and it will dissolve. For the weight, you're going to use 3/4 cup to 1 cup weight. And let me explain. This is where people fail with the gnomes. If your gnomes are falling over, even if you have a very narrow base, the weight of the body will help it. This pattern, you're going to poke out with your finger that little bump out, and that's going to allow you to put the full amount of weight inside of it. Make sure that's bumped out and it kind of tapers up at the top because that's how everything is going to fit so nice and neatly. So you can see here, it's pretty full of just weight, right? I'm going to tap it down on the table. I just really throw it. And then I'm going to fill up the very top part with fill. And this is going to do two things. Number one, we're going to fill it enough that when you press in, it's going to bounce back to its original size. And that will also help the shape of our hat form without having to add a lot of stuffing up in the hat. Speaking of the hat, you can just slip this on. And before we put it in place and everything, I want to show you the difference. So when you pull it up and scrunch up the face for the thing, it doesn't matter about your hat. Look at the difference in this. So what I did is I took this exact same pattern and cut the hat off by 2 inches. And what that did is it allowed you to see the nice pretty back. So if you have a button or if you want some decorations back there, you can also change this pattern to fit that. I'm going to be covering up the seam in the front. You can give this guy a booty and put the seam in the back, but I'm going to be using a half wraparound beard of this very, 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 very orange fur I got as a swatch from fabric.com. And all I'm going to do is kind of round it off V shape. Yours is going to vary on whatever you want. Just make sure you're using an X-Acto knife and just cutting the back of that fabric. You won't have any transfer. So I brushed a little bit up, split the fur in the center all the way to its fabric backing. I added my hot glue and then added a 3/4 inch wood ball for his nose. The other one I painted orange, which is not true. I just found it in my stash. Apparently I had already painted it orange. Whatever. I got a lot of stuff in there. Now, Lorraine asked for the use of this raffia, which I had to go and find at the craft store because I didn't have any green. And I was too lazy to color it. I'm not sure if you can color it, but anywho, I tried curling it around and that didn't work. So then I just added a line of hot glue or a couple lines of hot glue and then just cut it into pieces. And I was going to trim it up later because I figured that was the easiest way. I wasn't going to try and line this whole thing up. Getting every little piece right in its place wasn't going to happen. I am way too lazy for that. So it looks like a big mess right now. And I apologize because it is actually a really big mess and it gets messier when you trim it, when you give it a haircut. I gave it a haircut on both sides, so I didn't want a huge bit under the hat poking out, so I trimmed that pretty neatly. Waited for all the glue to dry, and then I tried this 2 ways. I probably should have shared the email with you all, but Lorraine had a few ideas and wanted to see my take on it. So she wanted to try the green in the front and the green raffia in the back as a beard. I tried it as a beard and it was a massive failure. So I went with the orange fur beard, and I'm just gluing that down over the front of our guy right here. You can see I'm going to glue down all along the seam. I'm going to glue the top and I glue the sides as well. Just because if people play with it, they play with the beard and the hat. Want to make sure those are on pretty well. So here I'm showing Lorraine, hello Lorraine, I am showing you what it looks like with the green in the front. Let me see if I can get back into frame. I tried bending it, I tried moving it around, I tried, but it just added so much of a shadow onto the face that I didn't like it. So I flipped it around. And I pulled the back down, and then I'm going to give it a scrunch because I'm actually going to make this like a bendy carrot. It's a lived-in carrot. It's a carrot that has seen its day. All right, so this is how I think I'm going to work with it. But before I get it on, I gotta do some changes to the hat here. You can use floral wire, but yeah, my girl Lorraine asked for pipe cleaners because that's what she uses for her grandkids so no one gets poked. So I twisted 2 pipe cleaners together. I glued it as far as I could up in the tip, making sure I didn't glue the pieces of the hat together on the inside because we will stuff that later. And then I just twisted it and glued it all the way down the seam. I'm using the hot glue silicone thingy so I don't burn my fingers. And then I'm just going to turn up the edge of my fleece right here in front. And again, you don't have to do any of this. You can use the green. Let me know in the comments. Would you put the green in the front so it looks like a carrot? Maybe I made the wrong call here. Let me know in the comments. I don't know. I just felt it was giving it such a dark shadow over the face that I figured put it in back, give it a nice little piece of interest back there, and then let the little face be seen. Because if you haven't figured this out by now, I'm a fan of the gnome face with no eyes. All right, so once I have that, I'm just going to tuck a little bit of polyfill right up in the very tip of the hat. I'm using, yeah, I know, the scissors, but just don't poke a hole in your hat, and it's totally fine. Just saying. All right, so you can see it's not a lot of polyfill up there. I'm just bending the tip before I stuff a little bit more in because we have the body to do a lot of that fill for us. All right, so now I'm just going to pull this down all the way down. I'm going to scrunch it in the front, and then I'm going to attach this right to the front of the face with just a little glue on the top of the nose, and then press that hat right down. I did glue down the back of my carrot, my carrot top as well. And then I glued down the sides. So I had originally cut arms for this, but I just felt that it was a lot going on, so I didn't use the arms. The pattern has arms, so don't worry, they're there. But and if you do, hey, if you make a gnome with the pattern, I'd love to see it. We have the DIY Gnomes and Crafts with Other Friends Facebook group. It's 20,000 plus people, and it's the nicest, most pleasant, inspiring place. I'll put a link down below in the comments. Come join us. And then show me all what you've made because I love them. So here you can see I just bent the little hat, and you can see those clean seams and the little green in the back. Hello, little fella. He's got a nice sturdy base. You can see his friend back there as well. As always, thank you so much for joining me. Let me know in the comments if you like this. Please like and subscribe for more crafty fun.